Hello all. Sorry for not being around for a while. I've posted a couple of shorts up which were very successful, lots and lots of views and a couple of new subscribers, which is fantastic. Hello to all my new subscribers. Just very quickly for those that are new here, if you haven't read the channel subscription, I'm here to try and I'd really like people to chat with me, to either get involved through a conversation here in the hut or over the phone or via messages or whatever it is, and talk about people's lives and what they've done. And we've all had our own journey, we've all got our own stories, and I've recounted some of mine. I've talked about my military time, my ADHD and issues with that, my mental health issues, my normal health issues, which are still ongoing. And I've talked about a few other things as well. My love of Star Wars. I haven't touched on talking about tattoos, which I thoroughly enjoy as well. It's probably quite obvious. I'm going to go through that at one point. But what I'm going to do today, I'm going to keep away from Star Wars. You can see all my stuff in the background, and I will go through all of that at some point. I've got a build to do as well, which is going to happen possibly early next week. I must admit, when I did my two shorts, I completely and totally forgot it was the Easter weekend this weekend. So everyone will be busy doing their own thing, which is fantastic, being with their families. I've got mine coming around tomorrow for a big Sunday lunch. Another love of mine is cooking. I really, really enjoy cooking, so I will be doing that tomorrow. Roast lamb and all the bits and bobs, so hopefully that goes well. The thing I'm going to be doing today, and I will stop this video very shortly because I'm going to splice it in with another one. I'm going to be talking about my bicycle, my cycling. But I just want to give a very quick lead into my cycling over the years. I used to, as a child, back in the 70s and 80s, I used to, no other reason, but we used to cycle everywhere. I mean, anybody from that sort of era will remember hordes of kids cycling all over the countryside, going for miles and miles and hours, and having an absolute hoot, getting into all sorts of mischief and probably things we probably shouldn't talk about, but probably will at some point. But just having the freedom of a bicycle. But then, of course, obviously, cars came into the equation. I learnt to drive in 1983. Passed my test in 1983. I learnt to drive just before that. I always had a thing about motorbikes, but was not allowed one. And the first motorbike I bought, I had to be my own motorbike, so I had to buy it myself. So that was quite some time. But anyway, cycling. Yeah, I kind of got out of cycling. I used to cycle a lot. I used to cycle to school, which was about 8 or 9 miles there, and same home, so 7 or 8 miles, whatever it was. So I used to do that quite regularly. But I then obviously, as I say, joined the army, found cars, and just kind of fell out of it. And then I had a conversation with a cousin of mine in Ireland. Hello, Ian. I know you're probably not watching, but my beautiful Irish cousin Ian. And I have always struggled with my weight. I've had a real weight issue. I have knees that aren't in the best condition, which wasn't helped by the military service. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and moan and complain and bitch about it. There are people in much worse positions than me. However, I needed to find some form of exercise. I was getting massively overweight. I couldn't run. I really can't walk. I can walk, obviously, but any great distance and I get real hip and knee pain now. However, I thought cycling, and I thought I've always enjoyed cycling. My father and my mother were avid cyclists, my father especially. They had a custom-built tandem. So I got into cycling. Ian said to me, "What about cycling? Why don't you take up cycling?" And I was encouraged by him, and so came back off a holiday over there. Bought myself a bicycle, a Trek something or other hybrid type bicycle, which was fine to get into it. But because of my size, I mean, I'm 6'4" and however heavy, 150 something plus kilos. Things kept breaking. Like I think I broke spokes every 5 minutes. The wheels started to split and things like that. So I thought I better upgrade. So I went and got a Genesis, a Quad Fur, which is a steel framed cross-country sort of cyclocross type bike, so much sturdier with much. But however, I still managed to break spokes and I still managed to break a rim, and it was a great bike. Don't get me wrong, but it was starting to. I just thought I need something a little bit more. But however, unfortunately, or however it goes, I never had the money to afford a custom built bicycle, which is obviously the way forward if you want to build something or have something that is right for you. And then my wonderful father unfortunately passed away in 2019 at the age of 85. And I say unfortunately passed away, there's a fortunate side of it as well, that he left the family, myself, my brother, my sister, and all of our children, money. And I know that sounds a bit cold and a bit heartless, but it is what it is. My children did very well out of it. Two of them used the money to put deposits down on a house, and my wife and I have paid debts off, etc., etc. Bought vehicles. I bought a nice car. My wife's got a nice car. But one of the things I wanted to do, and told my wife this, was I wanted to get a bicycle custom built. So I went out looking, and specifically out of titanium, because obviously titanium is incredibly strong. The bike will far outlive me and whoever owns it after me and whoever owns it after them. And I did some searching around, and there are a number of companies out there, and I did my research, and I really liked the ethos of a company called J Laverack. Now, J Laverack are based up in Rutland, and they build custom bikes for all sorts of people. I think a couple of Formula One drivers have got theirs, and another few well-known people have got their bicycles. But it's their attention to detail that I really, really liked. I'm not saying that other companies didn't have it, but theirs was like another level of attention to detail, which I just absolutely loved. And it was just, everything about it was right. The whole process took a while, believe me, with COVID coming in and coming out and lockdowns, etc., etc. But I finally got delivery of, because I had to go up, and sorry, I'll backtrack slightly. I had to go up for a fit. So I went up to Laverack, and they measured me up. I took my current bicycle up, they measured all that up, they had a look at me, looked at the size of me. They decided that they would put extra strengthening in the frames in certain areas just because of the stresses of me being on it, which is fantastic. So I now have an incredibly robust bicycle hand built for me. I'm not going to be obscene and talk about the money, but I'll suffice to say it wasn't cheap, and it came with standard wheels. Now, I never had any issues with the wheels, but it was always in the back of my mind that wheels were never up to standard. So I then became aware that they do carbon wheels, carbon fibre wheels, and so I rang them up and said, would you be able to have them built to stand my weight and velocity going down hills and over bumps and everything? They said, of course we can. So I then, a year or so ago, purchased, maybe a little bit longer now, a set of full carbon fibre wheels, which have been built specifically with the extra weight in mind. So they are absolutely bomb-proof, and they transform the bike. It's just incredible what a difference they made. I will show you all of this in a minute. And they've got carbon bladed spokes on, so very, very rather lovely looking things. But I'll show you everything in a minute. But I couldn't be happier with the bike. It's been an absolute joy. I don't get out on it as much as I wish I could do, purely because weather constraints and all the rest of it. I'm not scared to go out when it's wet and raining or everything else. But I have come off a few times. I've had a couple of nasty little falls off the bike, and as you get older, it takes longer to recover. And of course, the bike is as I say, bulletproof, but the bits on it do break, and they're not the cheapest things on the in the world to replace. So I'm always got that in the back of my mind. But anyway, I will post more ride videos. I was going to do one yesterday, but other things happened, and then I was going to go out this morning, and then however it then started to rain as I was just about to go, so I pulled out of that one. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. But cycling, it's a passion. I absolutely love it. I've said this in videos before. It's my happy place. When I'm out on the bicycle, I don't care if it's windy, rainy. If I get out there and it starts to rain, I really don't mind getting wet. Skin is waterproof. You can only get so wet. You can't get any wetter than wet. So when I'm out, it's being out in nature. It's seeing things. I'm a great... I love birds, as in the feathered variety, for anybody before they make any comments. And I love being out there and being able to see bird life and wildlife, and just being out there in seeing this time of year is fabulous with spring coming in and things starting to grow, buds coming out, flowers coming out. Absolutely wonderful time to be out and about. So it really is. I really get centered when I'm out there, and I don't listen to music. I don't do anything like that. I just go out and I ride, and I do anything from 10 miles up to 40 or 50 miles. It all depends on my mood at the time. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's my only real form of exercise because of my knees. I can't run. I've tried rowing. In fact, I've just sold a rather nice rowing machine because it just wasn't getting used, and I just really found rowing quite boring. But good exercise, don't get me wrong, and I knew the benefit of it, but the cycling is my thing. I absolutely love it. Anyway, I will leave that for now, and the next part of the video will be me going through the bicycle. Okay, so here we have it. You've possibly seen it before in previous videos, but I've never really gone through it in any great detail. You might be able to see, I know the light's not the best in here, but the logo on the side, J Laverack, and it's their all-purpose jack model, J.ACK, which is a more of an endurance, more comfortable style bike. At the front there, this is much taller than on their more specific road bikes, possibly even about half that height. But this is extended and made longer for myself. As I said, fully custom made just for myself. So that's the full bike as we see it. It is fitted with Shimano Ultegra Di2 electronic gears. So if I go up to the gears and I press either of the gear changes, you will hear a very slight electronic click, and that's then operating the rear mech. You'll see it move just a touch every click. Now I went with that because it's just stop that a second. It's obviously a little bit more expensive than what they call a mechanical group set, which is cables, etc. However, it is so clear, the change is so precise, and it automatically adjusts itself. So if it feels that it's slightly out of line, it will just very slightly adjust itself. The other thing is it's actually got an automatic setting. So if I want to change a lot of gears quite quickly, all I do is press and hold down on the lever, and it goes quickly through all the gears rather than have to do a single click on every single one. So it has a carbon fibre seat post, carbon fibre front fork made by Era, who also made these, you possibly can't see in this light, but these wonderful wheels are absolutely fantastic wheels with the bladed spokes on. Carbon fibre, and as I say, built to withstand my bulk on them. I run Pirelli P0 tyres, only because I find they're my favourites. I've tried others, but I really like them. The other interesting little feature is here they hide the cables away inside the frame, so there are very few cables hanging around, which gives a nice clean look. Star Wars fans, I've had a version of R2-D2, and again, if you can just about see it in there, the Millennium Falcon. And I also had, because my father, as I spoke about a moment ago, had paid for this, when he passed away, I had his initials and his year of his years on this planet engraved into the frame, so I can see that from above. So I have Pro handlebars on there. I have a Garmin headset, which is a cycling computer which gives me distance, time, and all the rest of it. I also have a 4K camera on the front because I video every single ride I do, only for security purposes. If anything happens, if I get knocked off, then there is evidence there if needed of either my wrongdoing or somebody else's wrongdoing. And at the rear I also have a small camera. This is a camera come, in fact let's just turn it on quickly. It is a camera, it's a camera come light, which has a number of different modes. It's not in its normal mode. Its normal mode is like a random flashing light, so that can be seen from quite some way away. The electronic gears do need charging up every so often, and that is done. And there's a port inside the, hang on, I'll go underneath. There is a port inside the handlebar there, which you plug in, and you also, if you want to know how much charge is left in the thing, you press that over, and if it flashes 3 times like that, it means the charge is 75% or above. So titanium bottle holders as well. These are a slight upgrade from the originals because the originals broke a couple of times, and it's also fitted with disc brakes both front and rear. It's an 11-speed group set. You can now get 12, even 13 speed group sets, but I'm more than happy with the 12 speed. And I've got a 2x2 chain ring at the front. Couple of little added extras that I've done. I've gone tubeless, so inside here there's no tube fitted. So this is put onto the wheel, and then there is a liquid inside. Do I have a bottle of it in here? No, I do not, but there is a liquid inside. So if you get a puncture, a small puncture, even quite a large puncture, the liquid will come out, seal it, and you can continue riding until you get back. Another thing I've added, which I really, really like, is if anybody's aware of bicycle wheels and tyres, if you're changing a tyre or pumping it up, you would pull the cap off or take the cap off. You would then have to undo a little screw and fiddle about trying to get something on it if you didn't undo it properly. Now, if you look at that, it's not a little screw. So if I want to inflate or deflate, you have this little adapter that goes on. Well, I've got a little handheld tyre inflator, and it literally, it clicks on, done. And then I can inflate it, and then it just clicks off. The only hissing of air is coming out of the machine itself, not out of the tyre. So it's an incredibly quick way, sorry for the noise, an incredibly quick way of pumping your tyres up. So in my little pack on the back of the bike, I'll take this off, it's a bit of a faff to take off. So in here, this is what I take out on every single ride. Very, very little indeed, to be fair. I will open it up. There's a cloth, for obvious reasons. You know, if you get dirty, you don't want to transfer the dirt onto everything. A cloth, a small toolkit, an adapter, which has got the one of those in there, and a small, very, very usable little electric pump, which, sorry about the lack of preparation here, but there is an adapter in here as well. I'm trying to get it out, it's stuck. But yeah, there's a little adapter there that screws into the end of that then goes onto there, and then that clicks, as I've just shown you, that then clicks onto there. So if I'm out and about and I get a puncture, I can very quickly fill the, this is a small puncture repair outfit for a tubeless setup, if I can undo it with my single hand. There we go. And inside you've got a tool and what we call bacon strips. So you push that into the hole, reinflate it, and you should be on your way. And then in there, I've also got a small, a comprehensive little toolkit. Okay, I can't really say much more about it. The saddle is a Brooks saddle, Brooks Cambium, and it looks quite hard, and it is. It's solid, and it does look very uncomfortable. However, because it's vulcanized rubber, when you sit on it, if you can see, there's quite a bit of flex there. When you sit on it, it warms up and it molds to your body, and it's actually incredibly comfortable. I've had no real issues with it. I have bought myself another saddle because it's just nice to try other saddles, but this one is my go-to. I will use the other one occasionally. So, as I said, the attention to detail with the Laverack, if you look at the welds, beautifully welded, smooth. I think now they do 3D printed, which is amazing. And then you've got the Laverack emblem on the front. So I can't think of much more I want to say on the bike. I do apologise for the camera work. I'm really never done any sort of camera work like this before. So if it's all over the place, I do apologise. If you've got any questions or you want to ask anything about the bike, then please do. I'm more than happy to talk to you about things. But I'm going to have a look at this in a minute and see if it's any good to release. If not, I will redo it. Okay, well, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you all soon.